Cuba, a Caribbean island nation located just 90 miles from the coast of Florida, has a rich and complex history. From the time of its discovery by Christopher Columbus in 1492 to the present day, the island has been shaped by a diverse array of influences, including indigenous cultures, Spanish colonialism, African slavery, and American intervention. In the early 16th century, Spanish colonizers arrived on the island and began to enslave and kill the native Taino population. They also brought over African slaves to work the sugar plantations that were established on the island. For the next several centuries, Cuba became an important center for the transatlantic slave trade, with millions of enslaved Africans brought to the island to work on the sugar plantations. In the late 19th century, Cuba began to push for independence from Spain. In 1895, a rebellion led by José Martí broke out, but it was ultimately unsuccessful. However, the rebellion sparked renewed interest in Cuban independence, and in 1898, the United States intervened in the Spanish-American War and Cuba gained its independence. In the early 20th century, the United States maintained a significant presence in Cuba, with American companies owning large portions of the island's economy and the U.S. government exerting significant influence over the island's political affairs. This period was marked by periods of political instability, with several coups and revolutions taking place. In 1959, a revolutionary movement led by Fidel Castro and Che Guevara overthrew the US-backed dictator Fulgencio Batista. The revolutionaries established a socialist government and began a process of nationalization and land reform. The United States responded by imposing a trade embargo on the island, which continues to this day. In the decades that followed, Cuba became a key player in the Cold War, aligning itself with the Soviet Union and other socialist countries. The island also played a major role in the spread of socialist revolution in Latin America, with Cuban troops and advisors supporting leftist movements in countries such as Angola, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. In the late 20th century, Cuba's economy struggled under the weight of the U.S. trade embargo and the collapse of the Soviet Union. In the early 21st century, the government introduced market-oriented economic reforms in an effort to revitalize the economy. In 2014, U.S. President Barack Obama announced that the United States would begin to normalize relations with Cuba, and in 2016, the two countries re-established diplomatic relations. Today, Cuba remains a socialist country with a planned economy. While the economy has struggled in recent decades, the island is also known for its rich culture, including music, dance, and art, and attracts many tourists every year. The island is also known for its healthcare and education system, which have been praised for their accessibility and quality. In conclusion, Cuba's history is marked by a complex web of influences and events. From indigenous cultures, Spanish colonialism, African slavery, American intervention, and socialist revolution, the island has been shaped by a diverse array of factors that continue to shape its political and economic landscape to this day. Thank you for watching VSH. Please like, share, and subscribe. Join us next time as we journey through another very short history.